I'm a ghetto youth. I'm from a ghetto community in Jamaica. And where I'm from, a lot of youth get into trouble and they end up in prison. It's a way of life. We would sit down, and when the guns are passing, it comes over our head and we didn't stretch our hand up. We didn't take it.
Welcome to What I Know Now, a podcast that uncovers the stories, experiences, and insights of individuals who have been impacted by the justice system. I'm Cole Williams.
And I'm Joel Van Kuiken. Our mission is to drive positive social change in the lives of system-impacted youth, their families, and our communities.
We sit down with incredible guests who generously share their lived experiences and the lessons they've learned along the way.
Welcome to another episode of the What I Know Now podcast. I'm Joel Van Kuiken.
I'm Cole Williams.
I'm Bilal.
And go ahead, Mykal.
I'm Mykal Rose, yeah.
Mykal Rose.
Yes.
I am super excited. I have, for me, as a reggae fan, since the early 80s,
Okay.
here with us today is someone that I have been listening to and following for more than 40 years. And he is someone who is a legend in the reggae pantheon, in the Rasta pantheon. And he's someone who has always been an advocate for prisoner rights, rights of the oppressed, and someone that I'm just super excited to have here in town for our gratitude concert and to be able to speak to us today. Welcome, Mykal.
My pleasure.
Welcome. So I want to ask you a question, Joel,
Okay.
right? Because I don't know what it's like to sit across from someone who you just described as Mykal Rose, as a fan, as someone that you were inspired by. What is it like to sit across the table from someone like Mykal?
It's a little surreal.
Yeah.
But it's also feels so natural.
Okay.
I picked up Mykal at the airport this morning. We've been working on this concert for months. So we've put in the hard work to hopefully start to build a friendship and a relationship, and to talk to someone that, like I said, I've just been kind of obsessed with his music for so many years and with his message. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels great. But Mykal, tell us a bit about kind of current day. What are some of the projects you're working on?
Okay. Well, my last albums, as you know, is out there right now. But right now, actually, I have a afrobeat album that I'm kind of putting together right now. It's like an EP coming out soon, and it's very promising. And I played you a few tracks a while ago.
Right.
And I consistently working every day, because my way of about the music is that there's no rest, once, you can work, So it's like, my reference to anyone who's in the music business that, you have to be on it. You have to be on the game, This is how it is if you want to accomplish,
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing that is meaningful to me is just the lyrics that you've written for all these years. And, I'm curious about lyrics you've written today, how they relate to those lyrics about General Penitentiary and Shine I Gel and Plastic Smile, these famous songs.
Yeah.
Where do you get the inspiration for your lyrics?
It's a natural concept, in Bonn, like, because I'm a ghetto youth. I'm from a ghetto community in Jamaica. And the only way out, you have to know, see the in between the social issues and things that's happening, So you have to make music that will free the people's mind, So when people listen to the music, they can, get something, substantial from the music you have to give, you know?
Yeah, I think just listening to you say that just makes me think about the music that so many of our young people are listening to here, and just wondering why it's important for the artist to write music for people to have a sense of freedom and understanding of the complexities of where they live. And so I'm wondering, can you speak to, I know you talked about a little bit of your inspiration, but can you speak to why that's really important for young people particularly?
Yeah, because if you check the situation when growing up as a kid or a youth, you know, if you don't be careful of what you absorb, then sometimes it can be crucial. It can be prison. It can be death. It can be, you know, it can be all kind of stuff. You know, it can be fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, back in 1982, Black Uhuru performed in Soledad Prison in
Right.
California, and I know there's an album coming out later this month,
Right.
A vinyl LP of that performance.
Oh.
Can you talk a little bit about what that was like to perform in a situation like that, and how did that inspire you, or not?
Well, it was just something different because normally we would have played concert like, you know, Jamaican peoples and, you know, a lot of like white people is attracted to reggae and the type of reggae that like Sly and Robbie they put to the music. Our music was more like of an edge of a rock and roll reggae. So like we used to, you know, like get a lot of people from different, you know, communities and countries. And, you know, for instance, like we go to Japan and like you would have like, you know, 400,000 people show up at a concert. It's crazy. Live Under the Sky with Herbie Hancock and, you know, and many more artists. But like in Soledad, you know, Soledad was something very special because that song, General Penitentiary, actually, you know, where I'm from, a lot of youth get into trouble and they end up in prison.
Yep.
So the sense behind the song is for the youths to know that prison life is not a good life, you know.
Straight up.
Yeah, because most of the youths that are coming up, they feel okay. If you don't go to prison, then you don't get your notch or you know.
Yeah.
You want to be that kind of a general, like where you know you go to prison, then you know you're the man, and you don't want to do that because sometimes it hurts the family because it puts the kids' family through a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you speak to, Mykal, from the moment when you guys performed that and why you performed it and why it was important that you shared it in that space? Can you talk about what you're seeing now?
Right.
Are there any trends that look different to you, or are you sort of seeing this same process of young people moving into?
Well, you can see them. You can see them in the streets right now. In the college, they're campaigning, you know, for humanitarian rights, you know, and so, you know, they know good, you know, they know what right is. You understand me?
Yeah.
You just have to show it to them, and they'll accept it.
Yeah.
You know.
Bilal, what are you thinking?
I want to know, like, I'm curious on like what was the inspiration? Like you say, you grew up in like a ghetto neighborhood and ghetto community and stuff like that. But oftentimes we find like people that come from there, they get to rapping about that. You know, they rap about or they make music about that. You know, and promote it. What made you different to
because
like?
It's not different, but it's a way of life. We would sit down, and when the guns are passing, it comes over our head, and we didn't stretch our hand up. We didn't take it. So it's like that. You understand me? And this is how it is, man. You know, because the system is set that from you as a black youth, you know, you have to go to prison. So you have to be careful. This is how the system is.
How old was you when you learned that?
My dad used to ride a bicycle, like when I was like from 17-year-old age there. You see me? Because a lot of my friends get shot in the head back home, and all kind of stuff happens, conflict with the police and them kind of things. Then I always tell myself, so, yo, don't want to be mixed up with the cops. I always stay away from the cop because the cop shot you, nothing comes out of it. It's like you avoid those people. Those people are people to kill. Those people are to go to war or something,
Yeah.
Yeah. Normal, everyday civilian people, young people who are coming up. You don't want to get involved with cops, man. Because the cop shot you, you're dead. And then even if they say he goes to prison or whatever, before you know it, he's out on the street again. He's licensed to kill. So, my father used to ride a bicycle. We didn't have a car like most people did, and our life was just, so well, it's like you have to get good achievement if you want to beat the system. Once you get good achievements, and you can help others, this is how the game is. It's not like for yourself alone or anything like that,
That's...
If you don't help each other, then
yes,
it's like you always have these things happen. The mothers are crying. They say, oh, my son died, somebody shot him, all kind of this and that. And, yeah, so whatever you can do to help the youths right now, you just have to help,
Well, Michael, it's interesting, right? Because before we started this podcast, I was just returning from a jail where I was just sitting with a group of fathers. And one of the things that we were just talking a little bit about is the role that a father plays in the life of children in their community, in their village. And many of these young fathers that I was just talking to is when I was asking them about what do you think about fatherhood, what do you think about your behavior, how did you learn how to be a father, or the type of father you want to be, many of them just talked about having an absent father and not really having a real clear definition of the father that they have, but they talked about the father that they wanted to become. And so, as I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking, okay, so your father was really instrumental and influential in your childhood rearing as it related to how you navigated from getting into a space where you were either shot, killed, or in prison.
Yeah, because, all right, my father used to, he's from the countryside. Yeah, a place called St. Ann, where Bob Marley is from also. And everybody comes to Kingston because at that time, everything's happening in Kingston. All the jobs, the this, the that. If you want to go maybe to England to better your life or, so everybody comes to Kingston. So my father used to operate a big machine that makes drinking like beer bottles and soda bottles. It's like a beast. It's a big... When it breaks down, he was the only one who could fix it. Yeah, it's crazy, So, like my father set the example. So we know that, we can't be running around in the streets with gun. We have to do something uplifting. So our offspring that to come, you set an example, even if it's not your kid, but somebody can stand aside and say, I like to be like my friend,
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
So if you come up and then you show nothing, then nobody can get anything, learn from something, because you teach nothing, It's like too much wandering sheep, Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that in your music.
Yeah.
All these years.
Yeah.
So I can better understand. how your father influenced you to kind of see
man.
a positive way.
You see, with all of this thing too, is like when we look at everything, because when we came to America the first time, it's like, it's like we're knowing ourselves, boy, well, Africa is the only place we could relate to. You understand me? Because the Chinaman, he comes from China.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the only place the black man come from is Africa.
Yeah.
So we started saying, boy, repatriation, to build a movements to go forward home. Because anybody would like to go back home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's the side of it. And those brethren in Soledad prison, they really appreciate it, because we had a lot of talk after the concert. We talked to them, brothers, and, make them feel at home, although they're trapped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk a bit more about, was Soledad Prison kind of the only performance in a prison, or did you perform for other inmates or other oppressed people in that matter?
I had a brother in prison.
Oh, you did?
In Jamaica. But he's a bad boy. He don't take talk. He gets in trouble, and that's his, he don't listen. He laugh. Say yeah. It's all good. And then sometimes the police would drive to my house, like when I'm who I am now, and he says, "Oh, I saw your brother last night. I could have killed him." Some call him. Say, "Yo, come check me." And him come here and say, "Yo, policeman just come up here a while ago and tell me say them could have killed you last night. My youth, if you cool." And we ask them, "Man, I'm cool, yeah. I'm cool, rare. But just can't cool. Road boy can't cool. Always want the poison. Road boy can't cool. Always want the gun." Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's like searching for community, for brotherhood, for a sisterhood. Yeah. If you can't find it, you've got to find it somewhere.
Exactly.
And you may find it in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Because at the same time, you can't turn it back.
Right.
Because it only gets worse.
Yeah.
So you still have to show that, that kindness and that unreach and, because out of bad comes good. So it works both ways,
Yeah.
Sometimes a good man lose it. Say, "A man snap, you what happened? Some people in a supermarket, oh, he was a good guy. I wonder what happened."
Yeah.
So out of good come bad and out of bad come good. So.
And I think that's really important too, because one of the things, our work is around supporting young people that are either involved in the juvenile justice system or at risk at being involved in this system. And I think one of the things we talk about greatly is this idea that kids deserve multiple chances.
Yes.
That we can't just...
they are the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's required that as adults, as community members, as stakeholders and village leaders, that we hold spaces for kids to make mistakes, and then we continue to support them along the way. Yeah.
Right. It's good. It's good that you can have a system like that, because I think it's really needed.
Yeah.
It's really needed.
Bilal, what you thinking? What you thinking?
Y'all keep calling on me.
Yeah, man. I want you.
Yeah, you're the youth of the time.
You're the youth.
Yeah, I'm wondering what your perspective is on what you're hearing from Mykal and, being 19.
Maybe it's too heavy for you. I don't know.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, it ain't too heavy, but it's, I don't know. I guess I'm just curious. Like, I just want to understand, because a lot of people want to be able to relate.
Yeah.
Just because of the simple fact they were like, "Oh, he from Jamaica." Yeah. So I wonder, like, what's like the correlation between, like, people that come from urban communities here and you. Like, we understand it's still like systematic. problems and injustices.
Yeah. The problem is everywhere.
Yeah.
Not just here. It's in Jamaica. It's everywhere. In the Caribbean, it's everywhere. But we can turn our back. We still have to try. No matter what. Not because you know better or I know better, then we say, oh, let them stay.
Mm-hmm.
We have to help them because they are the future.
And I think, too, for us, it's not just being elders and teaching, but it's also being elders and listening to our young people, because I do think, too, part of it is it's a reciprocal relationship. Yeah. That young people have a lot to say and elders have to listen and also provide wisdom and guidance, but also be okay to hearing what they have to say and then gaining some knowledge from that, too, because I think Bilal and I have two different versions of what the world looks like in the 21st century. I have this perspective that I come with years with, whereas you have a different lens that I'm like, I hear you. There's even dialect that's different in terms of when we're communicating with each other that I either have to pick up on or I'm like, no, I can't say that because no, that doesn't look like for me to say it. Yeah. But I just think that part of this work is us being able to have this kind of conversation, but also be willing to hear each other's perspectives.
Yeah, the voice. Yeah. Each and every one, you have to hear a voice,
Yeah. Because you talk about music, too, and I think that music has such a power that is like when I'm down, I go to music. When I'm wanting to feel upbeat and excited, I go to music. And I also have to be careful what type of music I listen to, because sometimes that music will have me thinking, and I'm like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be moving this way to this, or I shouldn't be thinking this way. And so I think what I'm curious to understand from you too is that, can you talk about why your music has transcended over time?
Okay.
Because it has.
Well, it's like what he said. My lyrics, what I have to say is that I notice that my lyrics, they come before time. So if it's 20 years from now, it's like it sounds as if it just recorded. It's not aged.
Yep.
Because you see how I write my songs is that they don't be monotonous. You don't hear the same thing again. It's always new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it never dies when you do that.
That's so important. I was hoping you said that because I think that's key.
Yeah.
To why the music I think is so powerful is that it is timeless.
Timeless.
It's timeless.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think the right music is timeless. There's so much music out there.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I used to listen to Bob Marley, all the Jamaican artists.
Yeah.
But we used to listen to like Stevie Wonder.
Timeless.
We listened to like The Temptations.
Timeless.
We listened to like the Marvin.
Timeless.
We listened to the Diana Ross.
Timeless.
We used to listen to, I'm serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Dells.
Yes.
Yeah, we used to listen to all. This is why people say, yo, you do it. You're just always there. Because it's like my listening ability is endless, friend. We used to listen to our B.B. King. We touch little blues too. You understand me? We listen upon a wide scale. Used to sing R&B. Because the first time, we sing with a band was on the north coast of Jamaica where we entertained in like the hotel circuit.
Right.
Yeah. And we used to sing songs like, I feel so down and broken heartache, 'cause my mama said you can't marry me. You know those songs.
Oh my gosh. What?
We used to have to sing those songs and to make stuff happen. Right. Because it was hard to get involved with music a long time ago. Because sometimes when you go to the studio, I'm going to say, yo, leave the place. Go home. Yeah, you're not ready. Go home. So you got to keep trying. Yeah, man.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm thinking about music in the 21st century.
Yeah. That's the
Versus,
Spinners. This
yeah.
one. Yeah, Spinners. Yeah, man.
But I mean, music now as opposed to music then.
Yeah.
And how people receive music. There's so much out there. I mean, back then, the process of creating music had to be very different from what it is for you now.
Oh, yeah. That's like orchestra. Although it's not classic, but, Tom Bell, Philadelphia All-Star, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. We used to play those songs, man. Them time we got our afro going, and every month I said, peace. Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Those were the days, man.
Yeah, what was it like being in Jamaica in the 70s? When you were just coming up and...
Yeah, 70s did rough, Yeah, it's just like watching the Bob Marley movie. You see the politics and everything.
Yeah.
That's what the 70s looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shut a fire. Yep.
I mean, I always think of, 2/7's Clash and the famous Culture album that is such... That to me is such an anthem for that time with what Jamaica was going through. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Black Sounds of Freedom.
And then Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey was on his mission, for repatriation of black people out of Jamaica and maybe in America. And, but that's how it goes. He tried, he tried. Yeah. But, and his word lives on.
It does.
Just like Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So today, when you create a song, you're playing some new stuff for me today in the car. And what's your process now? I mean, how do you make music in 2024?
Well,
I mean, if you want to share it,
No. It's okay because I have a rock and roll album right now that maybe I'm starting this week coming up.
Nice.
I'm a person like that. I made a ska album.
Ska.
Yeah. So I'm very musical. So like that. So don't be scared. It's just music.
That's important. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Right.
It's music.
It's music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's music.
Well, we've got a big concert coming up tomorrow.
Okay, I'm ready.
I know you are, man.
Yeah.
But it's a cool thing. It's called the Gratitude Concert.
Right.
Probably when people watch this or hear this podcast, that concert will have happened.
Okay.
But we're looking at doing this as kind of an annual event, and it's about music.
Yeah.
But above that, it's about gratitude.
Yeah.
And showing gratitude to our people in the community.
Yeah.
Trying to recognize people who are really making a difference, but maybe we don't see them as much as we might like to.
Well, we just have to let them know that the Bob Marley movie is out, and everybody can see what reggae is all about. So tomorrow is going to be a great day.
Thank you for listening. Check out our programs on the Delta Project's website, thedeltaproject.co, and be sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.